and thank you so much for joining me for Saturday Night Crafty. My name is Sasha Reed, and tonight we've got a really super easy pocket card with no dies and loads of ideas and inspiration by the end of the video. So my head was buzzing with tons of ideas with this, and I've got a few different samples to share with you by the end, so stick around for the whole thing if you want more inspiration on what you can do with a pocket card and how you can make use of it. Getting started, I'm using a standard card base folded in half, and I've got some pearlescent card, which is from Crafter's Companion that I bought on CraftStash, and it's a really nice thick card, so it's 300 GSM, so I'm going to use it for the card base as well in a minute. Now I want to stop the video and remind you to please subscribe. I always forget to ask everyone to subscribe, but this is what keeps my channel going. I don't understand the YouTube algorithms, but I know that likes, comments, and subscribers help me to get paid every month from YouTube. So I really appreciate it. If you like my content and you like what I'm doing, I love if you would subscribe and drop me a little message. It's really nice. So getting back to the video, I have picked this beautiful paper pad, which I picked up really recently on offer, and I love the colors of it, and I like that the colors match with my pearlescent cardstock. For this first card that I'm making, I'm going to use 2 sheets of pattern paper for the front of my card. So getting started, we're going to take the measurement from that inside panel. So the width of your panel, this is just a standard card base, and then I've layered it twice on top. So whatever your standard card base is going to be, you're going to take the width of that top layer, and it's going to be the same for every single card unless you make a square card. So this applies to all rectangular cards. So if you try and do a square one, it's probably not going to work, and you'll see why in a minute. So we've got our panel, and what we're going to do is take the width of that top layer and we're going to cut it squared. So whatever the width is, we're going to make it the same width, and we're going to make the height the same as well. Now on my paper trimmer, I've got these cute little awesome notches at the top, and they allow me to put my cardstock when it's like a triangular shape right into that little notch, and it kind of holds it for me, and then that way I can take my blade and just slice up and I get a perfect cut. So as long as your top point, your bottom point line up on that line where your cutting tool is going to go, you'll get a perfect cut every time. I'll link this paper trimmer down below for you. It is a common question I get asked a lot. It's a very popular paper trimmer made by a lot of different companies, or the style of it is used by a lot of different companies, but I'll put those links down below. I'm going to use some double-sided Redliner tape, and I'm going to use the smallest width. Because this is going to be a pocket, I don't want the pocket to be filled with adhesive and not be able to function as a pocket. So I'm going to use my skinniest Redline tape, which is a really super strong tape. Be very careful that you are putting adhesive on the right sides. So pay attention to which side you want to be open and which side you want to be stuck down. So obviously we don't want the middle part of the panel to be stuck. We want just the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the tape. And now because it was exactly the width of our top of our panel, it fits beautifully onto the panel itself. This is option 1, where you could go and stick a gift card in the front. It holds it beautifully, gives you a little bit of wiggle room. If you have a bit of an envelope for that gift card, it'll fit really nicely in there for you. And obviously your message can go on the inside. Moving on to card number 2, it's Valentine's Day in about a week. So I thought, oh, I should probably do a Valentine's make. I have got these gorgeous papers which my friend Marta has made. You can purchase them from her shop. Her links are here on the screen. I'll put a link to her shop on my description box as well. The nice thing about digital papers is you can print just what you want to use, and you can print it to match your cardstock. So I've printed all my prints onto pearlescent card. Now this isn't all the ones that you get in her collection. I've only printed out the ones I want to use, which is the nice thing. So you don't end up with loads of extra paper and any wastage. That one I accidentally printed on a piece of paper because I ran out of pearl card. I wasn't paying attention. So I've printed on the pearlescent card, and now I'm going to share with you how you can go about making this pocket if you've got pattern paper and the direction is important. So obviously when the direction is not important, you can go ahead and cut it at a diagonal and it doesn't matter. However, when you've got papers and you need that direction to be the same, you're going to cut 2. Okay, this is really important, so pay attention to this a little bit. So when you've cut 2, you're going to line the first one up and you're going to tilt it to the right. Then you're going to do the same thing and cut straight through the middle and get your 2 panels. Then you're going to take your second cardstock piece, which is the exact same width. Remember, the width and the height are the same as the width of that front panel. This time, instead of tilting it to the right, you're going to tilt it to the left and you're going to cut. If you don't do this step, you will have one triangle that is upside down and one that is the right way around. You'll see what I mean in a second. I'll have a little share with you of how it looks. Now, if you are watching this video and you feel really inspired and your brain is exploding like mine with loads of ideas of different things you can do, please do put your ideas in the comment section, because then the people that watch the video, if they read the comments, they can have a look down there as well. And they can then see what the inspiration is that other people have thought of. I've also got a Facebook group where you're more than welcome to pop over there and share your actual makes with us. There are some questions to answer before you can be approved into the group, just to weed out the people that aren't people. And then you can go ahead and share and enjoy time with us. So you can see here, if you've got one of the triangles and you cut it and you just do one triangle instead of two, you're going to end up with the upside down pattern. So this is the way you avoid the upside down pattern. You just cut two squares and use the two opposite triangles. And now you can get this beautiful, correctly patterned card front. So given I've got that wide of tape in there, this panel that I've done is just a panel. It's not a card. There's no opening and closing. So we're going to make a little slippy bit inside that can be our card. So I've got that tape. We know how wide it is, and I'm going to kind of eyeball it. And I think I went with about 2 centimeters, maybe 2.5 centimeters smaller than that top panel measurement. And then I did the same for the top width as well, and accounted for the fact that the tape was in the bottom. So you just kind of play around and just make little cuts until you get the panel that you like. Now I've got Marta's little embellishments that came in her paper pad, and I thought, well, that matches beautifully, why not use that? So I painstakingly fussy cut it out. Oh, I hate fussy cutting, it is not my friend. But I did it. I wanted to use that little embellishment. I've got some of this metallic thread. I buy it in a pack of about 12. It's lasted me probably 5 years now. I'll link it down below if it's still available. And I just use this metallic thread as sort of backing on some of my projects. So I'm going to go ahead and stick down a glue dot just to hold my thread in place. And originally I was just going to go for the messy ball of thread that I normally do, but then I ended up thinking actually like a little pretend kind of bow behind it looks quite nice. Now it's quite a girly card, but I'm going to give it to my husband anyways, and I'm sure he'll like it because I made it. But this is going to be my little Valentine card to my husband this year. So I go ahead and stick that little embellishment right on top of the thread. I just felt like it needed a bit more oomph to the front of it, so I went ahead and added that on. And then now I can pull it out, I can write my message just below there, or I can flip it over and write the message on the back. And then that way it's just this beautiful little note card. It's not a big bulky card, it's actually quite small, no thicker than a normal standard card. And look at that, I even have some matching pearlescent envelopes that I bought on eBay. Woohoo! So now my little card can just slip straight into there, and it matches all together. It's all pearlescent. It works beautifully. Oh, if you want to know where my pearlescent card from is that I print on, it's from Lime Tree Craft in the UK. I went and fussy cut out another little embellishment, which I'm going to stick onto the back of the envelope as like a little envelope closure. And that finishes that card off. So now we're going to move on to card number 3. This is a top folding card, and I've already gone ahead and stuck down that pattern paper onto the front of it. And I do forget to use those little strips in a minute, but you'll see them come up at the very end of this card. I went and stamped just for you along the top from this set, which I don't think is available anymore. If I can find it, I'll put a link for you, but I really don't think it's available anymore. For this card, we're going to make it more dimensional, so we can put something a bit thicker or bigger behind it and make that pocket more of like a pouch. So I've got my little strips from Amazon. These strips have lasted me so long. I'll put them down in the description box for you. They are cracking quality. Now, if you want to do the pocket, you've got to remember you're going to put the adhesive on your one side first, and remember that that bottom edge doesn't need the foam adhesive because you've already got the foam adhesive on that bottom strip. So you're going to account for the fact that the foam goes all the way to the edge, and you're only going to put foam on that one side, and make sure you apply it just a bit higher than the bottom edge to account for the fact that you've got a little bit of foam already there on this left side panel. So you've got that foam on that side, and then you can go ahead and put glue or adhesive. You could put the Redline tape if you want. I just used a very thin line of glue along that edge, and then made sure that my tape wasn't too far down so that I could make sure I don't go over that foam again and end up with a double layer of foam. Now we have got a dimensional pocket on the front of our card, so we can put something a little bit more substantial in there. Now this card I designed as a little thank you card, so I've cut out a load of Marta's tags and then I stapled on some ribbon onto the tops. And then inside the card, I'm going to write to my friend that here's a little gift for you. Feel free to use these tags on any of the gifts that you give to people. So it's going to be some kind of message like that. So I'll give that to a friend, and then it's got this fun little surprise in the top, and they can make use of that as another gift for someone else. Now here's the little strips that I forgot about. These are from Rainbow Card in the UK. I cut up their holographic card into tiny little strips, and then I can use it on my cards, and I just adhered it to those two edges and tucked the left hand side just under the card. My last sample is a big A5 card. So this is one A4 sheet of cardstock folded in half, which is what I normally would use to make 2 cards worth. So you can see that I could get 2 out of that one sheet of card if I was going to make a sort of normal size card. I've already pumped this up with some foam. You could obviously double layer your foam if you really want a big pocket. And I went and stamped the top. This isn't new in my stash. I used it in my last video, and they are fun because they come with stamps, dies, and an outline die, which can outline die cut your sentiment or your die cut sentiment, so it matches both of them, which is quite fun. And there's a whole bunch in the collection. I think there's 4 or 5 sets that you can get, and it's kind of got every sentiment out there. So this is new, and you're going to see it a lot because I really like it. So I had this picture of my son, and I thought, oh, you could totally give this away as a little set of photos. And I thought the sending you a smile worked really well. This is my son when he was about 2. He's now 6, so he's much bigger and much older. But it was a photo that I had on my desk. I absolutely love it. You could also then go ahead and you could gift an embossing folder. I'm just giving you some crafty ideas of what you could do with this card. So you could send this card and it could have a big embossing folder in it. You could stick some cardstock bits in so that they can make their own cards. Why not put some of Marta's tags in there as well? And you could give out the little embellishments, handmade embellishments. There's so much fun with the pocket style card where you can kind of bulk it out and make it into a gift as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you've got lots of inspiration and ideas flowing through your head. I'd love it if you subscribed, liked, commented. If you want to join me on Facebook, the link is in the description box. If you would like to join me on Instagram, I'll put that link down there as well. And I'll put all the supplies I can in the description box as well. So I'll see you next week. Hope you have a really lovely weekend. Bye for now.